Hey pilgrims, I'm back. I just got inside from a walk. It is a beautiful day outside and I have been right now kind of finalizing my plans for an upcoming summer Camino, which I'm very excited about. I don't have things quite planned out yet, but fingers crossed I should be walking again on a Camino in about a month. So stay tuned for that. I will certainly be making more videos, talking about it, talking about kind of what my plans are, the route I'm gonna walk. But for today, I thought I'd come on with a quick video to talk about a new piece of gear that I brought along for my walk that I just did in Portugal last month. And that new piece of gear is a waist pack. Now in the States, we tend to call these fanny packs, but they can also be known as waist packs or even I think hip packs. They kind of got a bad reputation, at least here in the States, in, I guess, what, the 80s or 90s. But I have noticed that they're kind of coming back in style. You can believe me or not, but a lot of people are starting to wear these again, especially the young kids. So I did not get myself a waist pack because they're back in style. I've actually been thinking about carrying one when I walk the Camino for a number of years now. And there are a couple reasons that I was considering buying a waist pack. The first one is that my Camino backpack that I take on every trip, it's pretty small. It's about 24 liters, and that's definitely on the small side. It really works for me, and I love the pack a lot. But I have found that on some walks and certainly some sections of the walk when I'm carrying a lot of water or extra food, the pack, the kind of capacity really maxes out and I have to get really creative with how I fit everything in the pack, and I'm kind of attaching stuff to the outside and I don't have a lot of room. And so one reason I thought a waist pack could be handy is that I could put some key items and carry them in this pack, and then it would just free up a little bit of space in my main pack. So that was one of my, kind of reasons I was interested in trying one of these out. And then the other reason, probably the bigger one, was just for convenience. I have on my Camino pack, I have a waist belt, but the waist belt doesn't have any pockets. And you will see on a lot of backpacks that there are these little pockets kind of on that waist or hip belt. And my pack doesn't have that. And so basically anything I want access to as I'm walking, I have to carry in my pant pockets. And I do often wear hiking shorts that have pockets. And so I tend to keep a lot in there. So I carry my phone, usually a little extra cash, some tissues, sometimes headphones. But that can get, it can start to weigh down my pockets a lot. And really, they're just extra items that I can't kind of carry with me or in my pockets and that I can't access from my pack as I'm walking, that I would love to be able to access during the day and as I'm walking. And so I thought a waist pack could be great because I could wear this, stash a lot of extra things in here and not have to always stop, take off my pack, put it down, root around to find some of the things that I need. So this is the pack that I got. I can very briefly talk about it. It's called, it's from a brand called Cotopaxi. And I had just heard about this. It was recommended to me in a post that I had put up on the Camino forum. I just asked a question about other pilgrims who walk with waist packs if they had any recommendations. And I got a lot of great responses. I'm going to add the link to that thread down here below beneath the video. And someone mentioned this pack, and I looked at a whole bunch of different waist packs as I was doing research, and this one really caught my eye. And I just thought this was a company that sounded really great. They're really focused on sustainability. They use a lot of repurposed materials in their products. They donate a portion of their funds to nonprofits and to really help build community. And I just really liked the mission behind the company. The thing that I especially liked about these waist packs were, well, as I mentioned, it's made from repurposed materials. And so I think the kind of idea was that like all these extra nylon scraps from these other companies' large production runs, they had all this extra. And so Cotopaxi kind of takes all those extras and then the designers kind of pool together different bits of fabric so that no two waist packs are alike. So the different color combinations are all different. I don't know if you can see, but even the color of the stitching on this, I think it was chosen very carefully and uniquely, but all the stitching's different. Like that was teal, but there's also white, there's black. So I just thought that was really cool. And because each one is different, you can I guess choose two different options. You could spend a little more and kind of select specific colors, and then one will be kind of made for you with those colors, or you can go with the cheaper option and just kind of choose surprise me, and then you don't know what colors you're gonna get. And so that's what I went with, and I really liked the result and I like what I got. So anyway, let's talk about actually using this pack on the walk. I didn't practice with this and like wearing this and my Camino pack before I left, which was okay, it worked out all right, but it was a little bit of trial and error kind of figuring out how to wear both my pack and this waist pack comfortably. Mostly the straps that kind of go around your waist and the little belt here, they're not super big, and especially like these clips, they're not too thick or large that it like rubbed against the waist belt of my pack or like my side or my back too much. But sometimes as I walked, I had to sort of adjust a little bit because it did kind of rub in the wrong way and it was a little uncomfortable. So I just had to kind of shift it. For the most part, I thought it was fine. I think most of the time I walked with this, I like barely even noticed it was on. I did choose a 3-liter pack, so this is 3-liter. I was looking at some smaller options and decided to go with this one because again, I liked the pack, I liked the concept, and I thought, oh, maybe more room would be better. I didn't find that I needed the full capacity of this. In fact, I thought this might be a little bit large for me as I walk the Camino. Some people like to carry a bottle of water, and this is definitely big enough to fit a bottle of water inside. I have access to my water, like I can grab it from the side of my pack as I walk, so I didn't need that. And my phone, I could carry my phone in here, but mostly I just kept my phone in my pocket because that was pretty easy way to access that. So I found that I didn't quite need to use all the space and I had a lot of extra room. But for the things that I did carry in here, I found it incredibly convenient. So I'll run through really quickly what I was carrying in the pack. The most important thing for me that I carried in this waist pack was my credentials. So this was my pilgrim's passport. And this is, you know, the passport that you need basically when you stay in the albergues at night. You need to get a stamp from the places you stay in to kind of prove that you're a pilgrim and that you're doing this trek. And then certainly at the end of the walk, when you arrive in Santiago, you're supposed to get 2 stamps a day in the last 100 kilometers to prove that you have walked. And so anyway, this is the pilgrim's passport. It is a pretty vital piece of the pilgrimage. And I always, previous to this past Camino, would keep it in the body of my backpack, which was totally fine. And when I would arrive at the albergues, I'd take my backpack off, get it stamped. The problem was without having access to this as I walked, I didn't really take advantage of getting extra stamps as I walked. And lots of churches have stamps, bars and restaurants do. Sometimes there are little donativo stands set up on the side of the road and they have a stamp, and there are so many cool stamps that you can get along the Camino. And I've just never been too into getting the stamps, mostly because I couldn't access my credential. So my credential fit very easily inside this pack. And I loved that as I passed churches, I could just kind of stop, pull this out, get a stamp. And I still didn't collect a ton of stamps on this Camino, but definitely love the option of having the credential handy. So I carried that. I carried a pack of tissues because I love having tissues on me. I carried a little tube of sunscreen. This is another big one that I really wanted to have access to during the day because I like to reapply a lot of sunscreen as I walk, especially if I'm walking on a sunny day. I kind of similar to sunscreen, I have a lip balm that has a little SPF. And again, I just like to have that during the day to resupply. I carried my buff in there, also just nice to have access to. This year I brought along a selfie stick on the Camino. That was another new gear addition. And this was just also nice to have access to as I walked because I used it a lot to take video, to make these YouTube videos. So that was also nice to have. Those were pretty much the main things that I carried in this pack. And as you can see, I can kind of really press it down. There's a lot of extra room in there. I didn't carry, I don't think any snacks in there on this Camino, but I think certainly, and you know, future trips, I can use it for snacks. I think if I'm walking in a pair of shorts that doesn't have good or deep pockets, I can certainly put my phone in there. I could put a little extra money, some coins. So I think there are lots of good uses for the waist pack. And even though it was a little bit bigger than maybe what I really needed, I'm very happy with it. I'm not going to go out and find another pack. It is definitely something that I'm going to bring on future Caminos. So I am, I think, a fan of the waist pack, and I will be using it. I'm curious if any of you also use a waist pack when you walk the Camino, if any of you are thinking about it, if any of you are saying, nope, absolutely not, you will never see me in one of those, let me know. Leave a comment down below. And thank you as ever for watching, and stay tuned for more content soon. Buen Camino.